Alright. Okay. Hello. Welcome to my floor. So a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine from high school came to visit and stay with us for a couple days in San Francisco, and one of the things he wanted to do was just walk around in the Haight-Ashbury, which we love, especially because it means getting to go to Amoeba, which is like our neighborhood record store, but we try not to go too often because we'll probably go a little too crazy if we go all the time. But yeah, we got a whole bunch of really good records while we were there, and I just wanted to share because I feel like it's a really good spread, and it also gives me a chance to kind of talk about how I like to go record shopping. So, the first one that I want to talk about is this. I guess I should hold it closer to me. This Suicide 10-inch. So this has Bruce Springsteen's cover of Dream Baby Dream, as well as an alternate version of Dream. I think it's just another, maybe live version. Yeah, for the Cars NBC TV Midnight Special, just a version of Dream Baby Dream by Suicide, and then Mr. Ray by Beat the Devil. Yeah, this was Suicide is one of those groups that I will kind of just buy whatever I find of theirs because I love them very much. I'm super inspired by Alan Vega and Martin Rev and everything that they did in the multimedia space, what they did to kind of make punk a thing, and yeah, I think they're just super important to both the sound and an ethos that I'm obsessed with. But yeah, I bought this without really knowing too much about it, but I researched it once I brought it home, and it is the first 10-inch in this collection that they did for Alan Vega's 70th birthday. And when I figured that out, I figured out that I also already own one of that collection. It was, again, like a 10-inch with a cover of Shadaz by The Horrors, which was a band that I was super obsessed with kind of back in like 2008. Yeah, that is the first record. Next one is Earth 2 by Earth. This is like the fundamental drone metal album. If you're gonna listen to one drone metal album, I would have it be that. I found out about this through one of my very cool friends in high school. I feel like we all kind of have had somebody like that in our lives. And yeah, I think this came recommended by somebody who works at Amoeba, comes recommended by my friend, comes recommended by me for you, and the back is just covered in recommendations and, testimonials from other people, saying that this record changed their life. Yeah, found it difficult to think of the things that disturbed me. Afterward, everything seemed right with the world. Pretty beautiful. Yeah, any record that has a testimonial like that, you know, is going to be a good one. Next, kind of in the same vein, like, I imagine that this probably was sold by the same person who sold Earth 2, is a copy of White Light, White Heat by the Velvet Underground. This was one of those just totally essential albums that I didn't happen to own on vinyl. And when it comes to an album like that, like an album that I know I really want to own, I kind of look for a couple things when buying a copy. So I could at any time probably go to the Velvet Underground section at any record store worth its weight, flick through, find maybe like a new pressing of White Light, White Heat, whatever. Like, it's easy to find these records. What I look for is something. I prefer to buy these records used. I think there kind of is no need for like a repress in a lot of situations. Obviously, if you're looking for like an audio quality thing, that's where those represses can be like really, really worthwhile. But for me, for just wanting to like own this record and not necessarily looking for something on like an audiophile wave, what I look for is just really, really clean edges. Something that looks like maybe it hasn't been used at all. I obviously still have this one in like the wrap that Amoeba does, but just from looking at the paperboard sleeve, I know that the record inside is going to be in really good condition. And yeah, so condition, I want something that's in near mint condition that is used so that I can get a little bit off the price, because this was only $20, which for like a basically unused record is really good. Yeah, when it comes to like buying an essential record, I am not trying, most of the time I'm not trying to spend more than $20 to $25, because anything more than that, I might as well just be looking into what the best audiophile version is going to be, and that isn't always necessary for me. The next record is this 9 Inch Nails remixes of Sin from Pretty Hate Machine. 9 Inch Nails is one of me and my boyfriend's favorite bands, so again, like, if we see something from them, we will probably buy it. Yeah, this one is still in our record player, that's why it's kind of like messed up and floppy, but yeah, this one's super cool. I think the artwork on the front and the back is just super sick. Yeah, that was a good one. And then the next, again, same vein. This is a band where if we see something from them, we'll have to buy it, and this one we kind of went back and forth on. But it's this Devo Beautiful World picture disc. So not necessarily my favorite like Devo song or anything or era, but just a really fun collectible. It's silly, it's goofy, but yeah, if it says Devo, I'm gonna buy it. The next one, these next two are both soundtracks. This is the soundtrack to True Stories, which is the movie that David Byrne like wrote and directed. If you haven't seen that, it is really, really good. Yeah, very like feel-goody, but like kind of bizarre Americana in sort of a Lynchian way. But the music is really good. It's really fun. Some of it is just talking heads. Some of it is other, like there's a all accordion song. Yeah, it's a fun mix of music, and I think this is going to be a good one to have like on as background party music. It's just really upbeat and not something you have to pay strict attention to. The next one is the soundtrack to Walker, which was done by Joe Strummer of The Clash. This was definitely one of my favorite movies that we watched last year. It is a movie directed by Alex Cox, the same director who did Repo Man, which is also one of my favorite movies. It is this super anachronistic telling of the US's meddling in politics in Nicaragua in the 1850s. And it was actually filmed in Nicaragua during the Contra War. So deeply embroiled in political upheaval and disarray. I think that it is a very political movie, and I think that the politics of Alex Cox were kind of one of the main reasons why he got blacklisted from Hollywood after it came out. But yeah, it is a really cool and interesting movie, and I think if you are somebody who cares about the history of like US interventionism and colonialism, I think you'd find it very interesting. Like the story itself is just really interesting, but it's also such a well done movie. It is so unlike anything else that I've seen. And yeah, the score is really good too. Thanks, Joe Strummer. And then the last record that we got is probably the one, well, I don't know, I'm so excited about all of them, but I'm really, really excited about this one. I think this was the one that we listened to immediately when we brought it home. It is this Television live record from 1978. So when I am looking for a live record, I mostly, well, I love a live record for a lot of bands, doesn't have to be this, but my favorite bands, I feel like, are always ones that I feel that they're better live than in the studio. Like Parquet Courts is one of my favorite bands right now, like favorite contemporary bands, and I always love them so much more when I'm watching them live. And Television is one of those bands where I can tell that they were probably like even better live than they were on the record, as iconic and incredible as their records are. But yeah, so I was super excited to find this because I feel like 1978 is like a perfect year to kind of show like them at their peak. And yeah, this is a double LP, so tons and tons of music on here. There's like a 15-minute version of Little Johnny Jewel, a 15-minute version of Marquee Moon. They do a cover of Knocking on Heaven's Door that's pretty fun. And yeah, it's like really beautiful blue and green vinyl, which is just fun. I'm not always super obsessed with color vinyl, but I think that these are pretty cool. And it matches with all of the design elements, which, you know, is one of those reasons why we buy records. We want the fun packaging and the design elements and all that. Yeah, so those are the records that we bought. I think this was a really good haul, and a really good haul to represent kind of how I go record shopping. I like to look for collectibles of bands that I really love. I like to look for funky live records, especially for bands that I feel like are better live than in studio. I like a funny soundtrack. I like noise. Yeah, noise and drone and sound art stuff. Especially to own that stuff on vinyl, I feel like it's kind of even more interesting than just listening to it on a streaming service. Yeah, so that is this little collection of records, and I'm sure I'll be doing more of these in the future because we live right next to Amoeba, so we'll end up there again soon, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.